There is more to Sigma guys than meets the eye. Behind their planned actions and calm strength is a separate tale that they never tell others. They seem to have everything all out. Their independence looks unrivaled, their confidence unwavering, and their path clear. These 7 hidden truths show what's truly happening behind their enigmatic exterior. First, they notice everything but act as though nothing is wrong. Consider that quiet friend who never seems to get involved in drama, but somehow always knows what's really going on. They see everything and hear everything, but act as though nothing is wrong. This isn't about being nosy or gathering gossip. Sigma guys are very perceptive and attentive, even when it appears like they're not. Whether they want to or not, their minds automatically pick up on nuances like a little argument between 2 coworkers. The unspoken significance of a remark, the way someone's excitement doesn't quite reach their eyes, it all happens naturally. Others see them as aloof or preoccupied. Sigma males are actually taking in everything, but they don't talk about it because people find it awkward when they realize that someone can see right through their act. This is especially true when they're trying to maintain appearances, so they play along by pretending they don't notice much because it's easier that way. It's not about attempting to fool anybody, rather, it's about allowing people to feel free to be who they are. However, sometimes this knowledge becomes a burden since you can see every phony grin. The world might seem less real with every little falsehood and every ulterior goal. Instead of pointing out what they see, they use this knowledge to move through life more smoothly. It helps them avoid drama before it starts and know who they can truly trust, but they keep these insights to themselves. They frequently wish they could turn off this radar in their heads, but that's just the way they're wired. They've discovered that sometimes the best thing you can do is to let others believe their masks are working number 2 because they feel things deeper than they show. It's an odd situation to be in when you see what others miss, but have to pretend like you don't. Sigma males frequently react to emotional situations by displaying a calm exterior that belies a depth of feeling that few people ever get to see. They experience emotions intensely, but you'd never know it from looking at them. Have you ever watched someone brush off a harsh comment like it's nothing only to catch that split-second flash in their eyes? While other people show their emotions publicly, these guys digest their emotions within. It's not that they are emotionless or cold. On the contrary, they feel everything, often too much, which is why they suppress their sentiments. Being under wraps is a deliberate decision rather than a result of pride or fear. They become vulnerable in ways that might be exploited against them when they express every emotion. When something deeply affects them, whether it be joy, pain, or anger, they prefer to process it privately. This isn't about stifling their emotions. They feel them fully, but they do it on their own terms, away from prying eyes and unwanted advice. This is because emotional reactions frequently result in decisions that they may later regret. In fact, their depth of feeling improves their ability to manage the emotions of others. They opt to provide SCL assistance instead of theatrical demonstrations of empathy because they have a great understanding of suffering, pleasure, and everything in between. Sometimes this goes further than they'd want, and a single remark might spark hours of introspection. Even though they rarely express it, a friend's struggle may keep them up at night considering how to support them. This hidden emotional depth can be both a blessing and a challenge because it gives them a rich inner life and a deep understanding of others. But it can also make them feel like an outsider because few people get to see this side of them. For this reason, it can be difficult for Sigma males to feel truly understood. Number 3. They want connection but are afraid of being let down. It's easy to categorize Sigma males as loners who don't need anyone, but that's not totally accurate. While they do value their independence, they also crave meaningful connections just like everyone else. But they're extremely cautious about who they let into their inner circle because they've seen too many superficial friendships and relationships to be interested in just any connection. They've been burned before, so they're cautious about who they let in because they understand human nature too well. They've seen friendships fall apart over trivial things and witnessed how quickly people can change when circumstances change. Most others mistake their reluctance to engage emotionally for coldness, but these guys are unable to pretend that fleeting relationships fulfill them because of this understanding. When they do find someone who understands them or shares their values, whether it be a friend or a potential partner, they find it difficult to open up because they are afraid of investing time and emotional energy in someone who might end up being just like everyone else. This creates an unusual situation while they yearn for someone who truly understands them. Deep down, they know that some people are worth taking a chance on, but their analytical nature causes them to overanalyze every interaction in search of clues that history might repeat itself. As a result, they frequently ruin potential relationships by keeping people apart because it's safer that way. But also, because doing so means losing out on relationships that might truly be worth the risk. There is a never-ending struggle between wanting to connect and shielding oneself against letdown number 4. They never find calm in their analytical mind because it finds patterns in everything and has no off button. Others, however, may watch a film for sheer amusement. It's not because they want to, but rather because they are unable to resist that Sigma guys find themselves deconstructing character motives, foretelling narrative turns, and uncovering deeper meanings in every scene. Their mind is always looking for trends and answers, transforming each experience into something that can be comprehended rather than just enjoyed. A friend's remark turns into a conundrum to resolve a little choice at work, starts a never-ending series of hypothetical situations, asking why traffic lights are timed the way they are or considering. The psychological underpinnings of basic social customs are just 2 examples of how relentless investigation isn't only reserved for significant issues. Their brain views everything as a problem that has to be solved, turning simple decisions into intricate formulas. When purchasing a new phone, consideration of future compatibility is equally as important as features and marketing. Ever after making a choice, their mind continues to do calculations as they investigate user experiences and take into account situations they may never ever face. The most challenging aspect is that they are unable to turn it off. While some people are able to live in the present, others' brains are constantly working overtime during conversations. They are not only listening to what is being said, they are also simultaneously analyzing tone, body language, and potential hidden meanings. This continuous mental activity frequently results in insights that others miss, but it comes at a price. When your mind views everything as a puzzle to be solved, even when you're asleep, it continues to analyze the events of the day, searching for patterns and meanings that others would not even consider. To some, this may seem like overthinking, but it's really their default setting. They have adapted to live with this constant mental chatter, but occasionally they envy those who can just enjoy life without automatically analyzing every aspect of it. Number 5. They conceal the mental energy required for socializing, even though Sigma males handle these situations competently. It's no coincidence that many of them choose roles that minimize constant social interaction. You'll often find them working remotely where they can control their social exposure, or choosing seats in the back to avoid the social spotlight while still keeping track of every conversation, keeping the proper amount of touch and displaying the proper responses, monitoring many discussion threads. They are just very attentive of every social gesture they make. What comes easy to others needs deliberate effort from them. It's not that they are being false. Engaging in small chat may be somewhat draining. The majority of people can converse easily about the weather and their weekend plans, but these men are secretly calculating responses, monitoring engagement levels, and resisting the need to delve deeper into conversations while seeming laid back and casual on the outside. After social gatherings, they require time to unwind because the meeting that others found stimulating leaves them mentally exhausted from processing all the social cues, unsaid dynamics, and upholding their social persona. They rarely reveal this exhaustion, which is why they are strategic about their social interactions. The funny thing is that they've gotten so good at handling these situations that no one realizes how much work it takes. They've perfected the art of appearing natural while their mind performs intricate social calculations behind the scenes. It's not that they're antisocial or believe they're better than others. They just know how much mental energy each interaction will cost them and must carefully budget it. Number 6. They really care about what other people think, even if it's different. Nowadays, everyone has an opinion, and most people either obsess over it or say they don't care at all. But there is a better way. Evaluating the viewpoint and its source with care. Not all criticism is equal, and not all issues need consideration. These individuals are experts at selective listening. Rather than dismissing criticism outright or allowing it to influence them, they filter viewpoints using a sophisticated system of relevance and credibility. It's like having a mental ranking system where they take into account things that others would overlook, including the person's track record. So criticism from someone who has accomplished what they appreciate has more weight than praise from someone who hasn't. Their comprehension of the circumstance and their reasons for providing feedback. This isn't about passing judgment. Rather, it's about being effective with whose input they take seriously. They may appear unconcerned by criticism, but they're actually carefully processing it and looking for insightful information. When they find merit in someone's viewpoint, They will subtly incorporate helpful criticism while discarding the rest. No extreme responses. No arguments of defense, only quiet assessment and targeted execution. This strategy aids them in avoiding two typical pitfalls: being influenced by all viewpoints or shutting oneself up entirely to outside influences. Since both extremes have the potential to restrict development, they must carefully balance. Remaining receptive to insightful criticism while ignoring distractions might sometimes entail projecting indifference when others anticipate a response. They might not instantly address criticism or openly acknowledge appreciation. They are not cold. They simply take the time to carefully consider input before choosing how to use it. And in a world where everyone has an opinion, this method saves them a great deal of time and energy. They are tired of always being strong, and everyone views them as the rock, the friend who always offers wise counsel and never seems to falter, and they are focused on improving themselves. They handle it so well that no one thinks to ask if they're okay or if they need someone to talk to. People come to them with problems looking for solutions or just a steady shoulder to lean on, but sometimes they just want to let their guard down. This isn't because they want to be weak, rather, it's because carrying your own weight plus everyone else's gets. After a while, it seems heavy, and while others have the luxury of weeping or seeking assistance, they feel compelled to remain composed and in control at all times. The hardest part is that most people don't know how to handle it when they truly need help, because they've created such a strong image that people find it awkward to see them vulnerable. As a result, they keep their problems to themselves, fighting them alone, because it's easier than watching people struggle when they show weakness and wish someone would just genuinely ask how they're doing rather than the casual, "Everyone asks how you're doing," but it's a sincere inquiry about their well-being. They wish they could occasionally express uncertainty. They're not okay without feeling like they're disappointing everyone, but they hardly ever display this side of themselves. Instead, they continue to act as everyone expects them to be because that's who they've always been. And breaking that pattern feels more frightening than simply continuing. They know deep down that it's acceptable to occasionally not feel okay. They've just not yet figured out how to let others see that aspect of themselves.